Fantastic guy and has a brilliant plan. This here is a ballot that has a bunch of anti-counterfeit measures on it and in it. It's got a UV seal on here, so you need a UV light to look at it. It's obviously too bright here to see it, but you guys can take a look at it afterwards. I got a little UV light. It's also got some embedded, I don't know if you won't be able to see it here, but if you hold a light up behind it, you can actually see a pattern inside the paper. It's got a foil seal down here as well, embedded in the paper. And right here, it's got a rare earth mineral that needs a special detector to detect that rare earth mineral. And there's some other covert features that we can't tell you about. So this we can start using right away. What I would say is we need to go back to a precinct solution. And the reason we need to go back to a precinct solution is because we have consolidated our voting system. We've centralized control of our voting systems. Anything, when you centralize control of it, you also centralize the abuse of it. Make it easier to control for good and for bad. Right? Our whole government was set up as a decentralized entity. And as was our country, that's why our voting system was also set up decentralized. So we go back to precinct-based systems. You have 1,000 to 2,000 people in a precinct. We want to keep the precinct small. We count the ballots ourselves with our fellow neighbors in our precincts. Ballots come in. We check them for authenticity. We check them with a UV light. We check them with a little detector for the rare earth mineral. Whatever feature we want to use to make sure that we're only putting a legitimate piece of paper through the system, we do that. It's only maybe 1,500 of them. It's not a big deal to test them with a black light. I can look at 1,500 ballots pretty quickly. So we look at them first. We only tabulate the real ballots. So you have a Democrat, you have a Republican, and you have an independent or a judge. You have a team of people where everyone can see everything. It's on surveillance, there's a video camera, and it's live streamed and recorded. So the public can see the entire process at the precinct. You can watch a precinct in California if you wanted to. Anyone can watch it, and the recording is there so everyone can see it later also. They are immediately scanned, and they're put on a file share, a website that everyone has access to. All of the tally sheets that are used to tally the ballots by hand are also put on this website, along with the ballot images themselves. Everything is shared immediately with the public. Nothing is hidden from the public at all. On the ballot, what I'd like to have is a little area, a little box, that you can put whatever you want on your ballot. You can draw a picture of a flower, a truck, put a favorite Bible verse, your kid's name, nickname, whatever you want, only you know what you put here. Why do you ask, right? Because when you're looking at your 1,500 ballots from your precinct later on, you will be able to find your ballot. Okay, so now we know for sure that our ballot was there, because it's in the file. Now, how do we know how our ballot was tallied? Well, we just look at the video. And when you look at the video, you'll see your ballot come around on the video camera, and you'll see someone actually filling out a tally sheet based on what you have on your ballot. So you will see exactly how your vote was tallied, also by looking at the video. Anyone can verify it. So that's what we do at the precinct. Then the judges, they've got to take those results and they've got to share them somehow. Okay? So, we want a system that's completely decentralized and completely transparent. So the system I came up with is a system that just spits out a simple spreadsheet file for your precinct. It lists the races and it lists the results of the races. Very simple. And then there's a hash associated with it. That hash file, or a hash number really, is a fingerprint for the digital file. And all that means is it's like a fingerprint on your body, okay, in your hand. No two people have the same fingerprint, right? No two different files have the same fingerprint either. It's very simple. So if you have that hash, that number, and you share that number, anyone can ensure that that file has not changed. And then we make those files available to everyone to download. You can download your precinct result file. You can download the precinct result file from any precinct in the country, in fact. It's about 177,000 precincts right now. We might end up with a little bit more when we make them a little bit smaller. But you'll be able to download all those files, and they can be shared with everyone in the country. There's nothing personally identifiable in them, it's just a result from your precinct. So you have access to those. The results are also put on the door at the polling location where they were tabulated by hand. They're also put at the county building, state building, right on the door. Here are the results, here are the hash numbers for all of the results. So there's multiple ways to check it. You put them on the website as well. And let's say you go to the website and you look at the results and you want to confirm those results yourself, you can get in your car and drive down to the precinct building that's probably not more than 5 minutes away, maybe 10-minute drive, and you can look right on the door and see those results, and you compare them with what you printed out from the website or what you got on your phone from the website. And then if you still don't trust them, you can actually hash that file yourself with a tool built into your phone or your computer. Because it doesn't matter what tool you use, you'll end up with the actual real hash, the real fingerprint. So you can digitally fingerprint your files, and you can compare them with what's advertised. So the citizens now can see their ballots were processed, they can see how they were tallied exactly, and they can confirm the results themselves at the precinct level. Then you ask, how do we get to our county level data? Well, the county data is just an aggregate of all the precinct data. You just add up all the precinct numbers, and that gives you the county total, right? It's real simple. So we always go back to the precinct data. Everything starts at the precinct. Everything is always calculated for the precinct. We don't have these multiple levels of totals that you can't confirm one from the other. Because that's a stupid way to do it, and that's what we have now. We have all these different corporations that tell us what the totals are. But has anyone ever gone back to the individual, we can't go precincts because they have precincts everywhere, but has anyone gone back to the counties and got the numbers from every county, the 3,300 counties in the country, got those numbers and re-tallied our election? In all this time? No one's done it. Because it's really hard to find that data. And how do you know to trust it? But if you could just download the 180,000 precinct files, you could actually do it by hand if you wanted to. It'd take a while. Calculator would take a while. You could also take those files, which are just Excel spreadsheets, or you could use an open source software like LibreCalc, which allows you to open those. They're ODS files, so it's an open source document format. Any citizen can open this file. You don't need any special software. You can open it, print it out, you can look right at it. You can just take all the counties, or all the precincts in your county, you can put them in one file, and you can have Excel add them up for you, if you want it. You can take all the precincts in your state in an Excel file and add them all the results up. So now, we have full access to those results. Everything's out in the open. The election officials can relax because the citizens have everything from day one. Election night, the whole thing's fully transparent. Anyone can audit this. Every citizen can audit it. And here's the icing on the cake. After the election, Mrs. Smith and her 6th grade class have a class project. And their class project is they recount their precinct's ballots. The 6th grade class gets to learn leadership, group skills, they get to use their math skills, teamwork, accountability, they get a civics lesson, all at once, and it's not that hard, they count 1,500, but it's a fun little class project, right? They break up into groups, however they want to do it. They learn so much about our elections as a 6th grader, and then the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, they all do it too. Every kid from 6th grade all the way through 12th does this after every election. They learn what they need to know that they're not being taught now. And all the complaints about, well, how are we going to find people that can do this, and how are we going to train them? Well, if kids have already done it for 6 years, they're going to be professionals at this. And they are also auditing our elections for us. This is a no-brainer.
Also, because kids are curious, they're going to say, why are we doing this?
And that's the other thing, is we tell them why they're doing it. Here's what happened in 2020. And here's what happened for years before that we didn't know about. Here's why you guys are doing this and why it's so important. They learn to appreciate the process, they understand the entire process. And we have to start with our kids, and that is how we not only correct this problem, but this is how we make sure that this problem does not happen again going forward. This is an absolute no-brainer, and I don't know what teacher would not want to teach our kids how to do this. I don't know what parent would not want to teach our kids how to do this. It's absolute guarantee, and it's so simple. We're fighting over data. 2 years later, we still don't have access to data that we should have access to because the entire system is obfuscated from us. We